It's actually working. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sorry, just checking this out. And there... No, wait. There we go. Now we're live. Just wanted to make sure. And I'll mute you. Welcome, everyone, to today's stream of writing. How is everyone doing? All that lovely stuff. So it's weird doing this when there's people around. I don't know what I'm doing. How's everyone? What's new? How is your writing going? Or not going, as the case may be. I'm not naming names, but I haven't done much since last week. So let me just call up my account here. So I'm all ready. Well, ready to write. Oh man, do I have to watch me forget my password? Not successful. Not successful. This is embarrassing. There we go. Now I got to remember that. Okay, anyway. I'm logged in. I will be ready to write. I've got my cards. But first, we're going to be talking about this today. Subplotting. What is subplotting? Well, we're going to talk about it. And hopefully you guys will do some writing as well. I don't know, for some reason I'm all kerfluffled today. Oh. There is someone here. I better be quiet. Anyway. We're talking about subplotting, which is just a lovely way of saying adding more plot to your story. Well, I'll just read it because let's face it, that's what I should do instead of trying to put it in my own words. A surefire way to guarantee that there's enough action in your novel to fill the pages, meet your word count, and keep your readers reading is to add subplots starring your supporting characters. Just like your protagonist and antagonist, your supporting characters have dreams, fears, and weaknesses of their own. Very true. I often forget about that. So, your subplots, your supporting characters, what's going on with them? I've got supporting characters, but do any of them have a story? Not really, no. And I need to fix that. They say that the villain of your story is the hero in their own story. So the idea is, I guess, what is your supporting characters doing? What are their hopes and dreams? What is their journey? So I'm going to be just jotting down ideas as I have here, because I have the taxi driver friend. Oh, you're doing. Thank you. Going to my script. Seeing what we have. It is taking a long time to load. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la. Addo. I knew it. Why do I always forget? If you forget your name of your character, like not your main characters, but supporting characters, does that mean the names are bad? Or does it just mean you have a really bad memory? Because I'm pretty sure I just have a really bad memory. But maybe it's an indication that my character's names suck. Anyway, so I'm just going to make a list of some of my my supporting characters on my piece of paper here. Addo, lead, well, there's kind of the sub-villain. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Long story short, Thank you very much. Okay. Answer the following questions for each of them on a separate piece of paper. You may want to review the character questionnaires you filled out for your supporting characters before you do. More than anything in the world, blank, that's the name of your supporting character, wants, they are afraid of, and their greatest weakness is. So, yeah, try and answer those questions for any of the supporting characters you have. What do they want? What are they afraid of? What is their greatest weakness? And moving on to some of the other assignments before we do any writing sprints. So the stuff I just said, that's just to, keep in mind as you are writing. When you introduce a supporting character, think about these things. So, a further assignment here. Watching TV is a great way to learn about subplots. Shows like The Simpsons are filled with them. Adventures aren't always about Homer, Bart, Lisa, and Marge, and even Maggie. What? Homer. Oh, Homer. Period. Bart, Lisa, Marge, and even Maggie have adventures of their own that weave in and out of the main plot line. So, choose a fictional show as opposed to reality TV, I guess they're saying. And watch it. Put your thinking cap on, write down some of the answers to the following questions in your notebook. Who is the protagonist of the show? So if you're watching like Gilligan's Island, I guess it'd be like Gilligan, the skipper. How many supporting characters are there? Who are they? And how are they related to the protagonist? I don't know why Gilligan's Island has popped into my head. I haven't seen that in a long time. But apparently, it's in my head. Sorry, just silencing that. But, I mean, are the Professor Marianne, Ginger, the millionaire and his wife, are they all supporting characters? And it's just Gilligan and Skipper are the two main? Or maybe the Skipper's even a supporting character. How are they related? Okay, what are the subplots? These are the plots that involve the supporting characters going after something they want. They may include the main character, but sometimes the protagonist has little to no connection to the subplot. Yeah. I'm trying to think, because every episode is different. But I guess if you're watching a specific one, maybe the subplot is the millionaire is like glued to the radio because his fortunes are going up and down and on the stocks he owns. Meanwhile, they're trying to use the radio for help, monitor some rescue operation. So in that case, they're kind of related because they're both using the radio. I'm just making up that episode. I'm not even sure if it actually exists. But there you have it. So think of your supporting characters and put them on their own quest. Okay. Do the supporting characters have their own antagonists, or are they also battling the protagonist's antagonists? Yeah. Yes. Yes and yes. I'm trying to think of, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like maybe they're battling, maybe a group of teenagers are trying to, I don't know, win something, a contest at school. And the principal wants them to disband and get suspended. You screw up and you fail and you're here for summer school. Ha 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 ha. And then, so he's the antagonist in this fictional story I just created. But perhaps the janitor is also could be a minor antagonist, or maybe one of the people in the group has like a, butts heads with the janitor. So the janitor is out to get them as well because he doesn't want that guy to succeed. I hate Billy in that group. Thinks he's so much better than me just because his dad went to Oxford and I went to Harvard and ended up a janitor. So anyway, you could give supporting characters their own little antagonist. Or maybe various supporting characters could be antagonists to each other. They could, like, distrustful group. They don't like each other. What did you notice about the pace of action in the subplot? Was it fast, slow? Did it happen all at the beginning, or was it spread out through the story? Well, you're the one watching this, or watching a show, I'm assuming, for homework. So yeah, what is it all like loaded heavily up front, or do you kind of like get introduced to the character? Do they get a resolution? I wonder, sorry, this is like an aside, but you know how when you're writing, like plotting something out, you know, they usually talk about the initial incident, end of the chapter, one, midpoint, and the resolution at the end. Could you just take supporting characters and give them those like 4 scenes? So they're introduced and they're introduced. So that's their normal. The next time you see them, it's kind of their initial incident of some sort. Initial like, inciting incident. What am I saying? I'm like, their inciting incident happens. Even if it's off screen, that's the sort of the point. Like something just happened to them maybe. Like, hey man, you know those guns you asked me to deliver to that crime boss? He's the one who killed my dad 20 years ago. Boom, he finally bumps into the guy that even though you don't see it happening, but you know, something happened to the supporting character. He's had his inciting incident. And then the next time you see him, maybe he's on the run from the mob boss. Even though the guns were delivered, the mob boss isn't even in the protagonist story anymore. But this supporting character who shows up, he's still being affected because that's his antagonist, perhaps. He's got his own little adventure going on. So, boom, shada boom. And then maybe the next time you see him, the supporting character has come up with a plan. I'm going to go do this, man. If I just wear a wire, I'm just going to record him. I think I can, bring him down. I don't know. Like, it doesn't even have to be that expository, but just keep in mind, like, maybe where in the journey, what is he doing? And maybe it'll just add some depth to the story. Anyway, so yes, watch a TV show that you like. Go through those questions, see what you see, etc., etc. Do, and there's a bonus exercise. What bonus exercise? You guys are lucky. And then we'll do some writing for like 30 minutes. Anyway, bonus exercise. One antagonist sometimes just isn't enough. What, didn't we just talk about this? We did, but I'll just... To add even more conflict to your subplots, create secondary antagonists. Is one of your supporting characters having trouble with an evil school security guard or your antagonist's best friend? I feel they stole my idea for a security... Well, I guess it was a janitor in my mind. Still feels pretty close. If you would like to add more drama to your story, create a secondary antagonist for supporting character too. You can do this by turning back to that handy character questionnaire and completing it for each new antagonist. Anytime you're feeling stuck or bored with your protagonist, go see what your supporting characters are up to. You can totally switch gears and follow the journeys, whatever you'd like. Maybe they'll run into your protagonist. Maybe they won't. No matter what happens, we promise that all kinds of unexpected things will unfold each time you explore a subplot. Do you promise? Do you promise? And what happens if you break that promise? What if nothing exciting happens? I think we should get something for free, like a NaNoWriMo bookmark. Just write you and say, I explored my supporting characters and nothing exciting happened. I was disappointed. I want a bookmark. And maybe they'll give us one. I don't know. So I got to figure out, because in the scene that I'm writing during this, the next writing sprint is with a supporting character. What happened? There was no explosion. I thought there was an explosion. Do, 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 do. Sorry. What? Sorry, I'm just trying to find my correct card so I can write appropriately. And I got to think about this because he's going to be. Yeah, that's the scene I'm on. Just double checking. What is Addo, the taxi driver? What is his story? What is his goals? What is he scared of? Yeah. That is a good question. I'm going to do that right now because he's in the scene that I'm going to be writing. So, Addo wants to be, I don't know, wants to get ahead in life, not living paycheck to paycheck. So it's probably like his want is probably what a lot of people's wants are. I don't want to starve and be homeless. He's afraid of having the means of supporting himself taken away. I'm sorry if I'm like quiet because we are open. The library is open, so I got to be like taken away. So he's got a vehicle, probably something he's put a lot of money and time into because it's one of like his baby. And with these tech restrictions, maybe his vehicle will be next. Interesting. That just gave me a thought. He's afraid of it. So maybe he knew these restrictions. Well, he probably did know these restrictions are coming. So he downgraded to an internal combustion engine. Car down. So he's kind of like, okay, I can keep my taxi delivery service going, but if there's a new round of restrictions, I'm gonna have to get a horse and buggy. His greatest weakness is arrogance? No. Optimism? It's not really a weakness, is it? So, is there any, well, hello, Earthwords. Sorry, I just like, and of course, Beleriu is here as well. I should have said hi to everyone before I started, and now I feel embarrassed. Hello, you lovely people. How are things? If you'd like to tell us in the chat what you're working on, if you're working on anything, how are things going, that would be lovely. I am going to be working on my script today. Not a novel, because I tried and it did not go well. Well, I shouldn't say it didn't go well. I gave up. Not a format that I'm very confident in. I've never done it before. Every time I wrote, it just looked awful. So going back to script writing for now. So anyway, I hope you stick around, good sir and good lady. But yeah, supporting character, Edo, he wants to get ahead in life, not living paycheck to paycheck. He's afraid of his means of supporting himself will be taken away. So he's trying to stay ahead. But his greatest weakness, what would this supporting character's greatest weakness be? Not his optimism. And I mean, he's a smuggler. Would he's like faith in people? I don't know if that's something that a smuggler, someone who smuggles contraband out of the city and knowingly does it, I don't know if he would have a lot of faith in people. Sorry, just my eyes, they're captivating. Also, I'm tired. So, yeah, just kind of blinking, stay awake. Yeah, greatest weakness. I'm going to have to figure this out before I do any writing. Because without, yeah, it would help to know how he talks, what he might say. Like if his greatest weakness is, if it was like he does trust people, then he would respond to questions probably very differently than if he is a cynic and thinks everyone's out to get him. So he can't trust. Maybe that's a weakness, but then he still has. Man, this is. And I know I wrote this down for my protagonist, but off the top of my head, I cannot remember what his greatest weakness is. Curiosity. That's not really a weakness. No, his for him it would be like his optimism about the future. So maybe his supporting character is apathy. Maybe that's what it is. Apathy. Like he smuggles stuff out because he just doesn't care. I mean, he downgrades his vehicle, but he's not like. He's like whatever. Maybe he's reached a point in his life where he's like whatever. I am a victim of fate. I don't care. I'll just do what I need to do. And at the end, he has to kind of, just as a supporting character in a small role, he has to show up and pick a side and fight or something. I think a Han Solo, Han or Han? Quick poll. Is it Han Solo or Han Solo? I don't fall on either side. I'll just use both. Even though he's like a main character, but he's still, I guess he's a very important supporting character. He's very selfish. That's his weakness. And at the end, he shows up, helps, fight, destroys the Death Star, all that, good stuff. So, and Akhmatovs. I'm sorry that I butcher people's tags. I'm bad. Welcome to the chat as well. I hope if you want to chime in with whatever you're working on, please do. We're talking about subplotting. To sum up, you have supporting characters. Give them goals. Give them fears. Give them their own antagonist if they need to. Basically make them the hero of their own little story, even if it's happening off the page. And then that way, if you kind of know what their story is, whenever they pop up, you kind of know where in the story they are, and they can reference that, or you can show their growth. And it makes, they're not just cardboard cutout characters that are showing up to, fulfill whatever need the protagonist has at that particular moment. Maybe they call, like the protagonist needs help, and your supporting character isn't there to support them because they're busy with their own stuff. Can't help you. I'm taking down a drug kingpin. And then there you go. Anyway, blah, 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 chatter. It's time to write. So we are going to write for 20 minutes. Well, 19 minutes, because let's face it, I have to stop at 7:45. And now I realize that, hold on. See, now all my dialogue is acting all like, yeah, don't like it. Granted, I haven't written very much, but new car. See, I'm changing some stuff now. That would not fall into the radar. That would No, it would fall under the radar. So right now I'm just talking like because he's afraid of losing his the ability to support himself, and he transports people and goods. His vehicle is very important for him. So now, because I kind of know that about him, I've switched some of the dialogue, and now his vehicle is different. So now they're having conversations like, "Hey, new car? Yep, needed something classic that would fall under the radar of new." Is it a? Not is it? Does it? Gas. Nods. Kaon shakes his. Home. Long. Perhaps I'll share it with you another time. Smiles. Then nods towards a stack of crates next car. That's what they always. A little bit too much exposition and dialogue. Dialogue coming along a little bit better now because of that. Okay. Do. What are you guys working like? Is anyone working on a particular novel? Story? I know that Belleriu is working on a very kind of involved, many plots that I imagine. But Earthwords, Akhmatovs. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I've probably shared my script idea many times. So I'm not sure. Oh, maybe another time But it is a sci-fi that takes place in a different time. In the future, an alternate universe. I'll never tell. Well, I will tell, but not right now. Says the guy driving around a car that runs on gas. That he refines himself. taken. Let me just see. No. No. I want to take a look at it. Definitely out of the air. The metal sound of coins. It's heard. Usual delivery fee. Appreciate you. No. Thank you for. I don't. No. Support. Shipping needs. Boom shakalaka. I'm just gonna make them smiles. Okay. I think that scene is done. So now I gotta pull out the next one. And I have no idea. Here. Oh. Sorry, I just didn't even see the chat there. Yes, my brain is fried today as well. And it seems like every day I'm relearning how to write because I don't. If I had like 2 hours a day that I wrote, it probably would not. But it's like an hour or two a week, and you do writing, and then it trickles off, and yeah. Writing a story of my mother working on a train, but as a fiction or trying to make it into fiction. What would you call that? Based on it, according to Hollywood, it'd be based on a true story, even though it's fiction. If it's a real person, based on a true story. What's the other one? Based on real events. So you could, if it's not like, if you're not throwing anything too crazy, and if it's like a real person and real events, even if it doesn't happen exactly as you wrote, you probably could get away with saying it's based on real events. Then if you're making stuff up, then it's, historical fiction. I know we have like those kind of categories here at the library. Fiction, but it's based around historical events. So, yes. I'm just going straight with sci-fi fiction. Like, Obviously, nothing is going to be true in my story. But if you're anchoring it to real things that happened, you probably have a little bit more work to do than I do. I can just make stuff up. And then a dragon drops out of the sky and incinerates everyone with its acid breath. No one's going to say, hey, I don't really know if dragons have acid breath or if they exist. It's like, whatever, I'm writing whatever I want. And for the record, they do have acid breath. You could do sci-fi too. Put it on a different, just change the time frame, make up different names. I mean, like sci-fi does that, which I really kind of like. You watch the old Star Trek stuff, and it's all based on stuff that's happening. Ooh. What was that? Train to Different Dimensions. There was that, Jake Gyllenhaal movie where he was trying to solve a bomb mystery on a train, and he had like X amount of minutes before the bomb went off, and then he was reset at the same time, and he just he could change his actions every time, but he had to figure out within that short 10 minutes he had to get more information and new branches before the bomb went off, and I think even if he got off the train or tried to stop, just to not die from the explosion, he still died. You just get hit by a train or hit by a car, or some weird an asteroid. No, an asteroid didn't strike him, but that kind of idea that he couldn't avoid death. He just had to keep going back and back until the very end when he solved everything, and then we learned the horrific truth, which I'm not going to tell you because it would kind of wreck the movie for you if you haven't seen it. I'm going to actually just Google this now because now I'm wondering. Jake Gyllenhaal movies. What is it called? Nope, not Brokeback Mountain. Source Code. That's it. Source Code. Good times. It was actually, I enjoyed that movie. And it made $147.3 million on a $31.9 million budget. So good for all of you guys involved. Way to go. Anyway, so now I'm back. Internal Kaon's Pawn Shop. When was the last dawn? Okay, morning. Light. Sun. For Kaon. I just knocked over my garbage. I'm sorry. Okay. Before he takes these crates of goods that he's not supposed to have, he is going to be adding stuff from his own shop. So I got to write that scene. Time travel. Sorry, I just got distracted with the whole source code thing. Time travel on a train? Definitely. Anything that would I'm not sure, Bellarue, you seem too mature and grown up to play video games. But there's lots of games. One thing like Assassin's Creed, where someone goes into the memories of someone else and lives a portion of their life in the memories. maybe that's something as well. Like, some sort of psychic who can, enter the memories of other people. Or, yeah, a scientist who comes up with some sort of device that, you can take blood from other people, and from that they're able to genetically, somehow time travel to the person's past. Well, you're probably, because you don't play video games very much, it's because you probably realize that you have more important things to do. My lovely wife would concur that it's not the best use of my time. Even though I really like it, I just don't play as much as I used to because I don't have the time. Unless Alice in the Wonderland, was that Alice McGee's? Like, it was kind of a dark Alice in Wonderland game. I'm trying to think. There's like a Alice game. I think it was just called Alice, and it was dark, and kind of, she had like a bloody knife in the picture. Is that the one? There's two Alice in the Wonderland. Actually, I wonder, can I? I probably can't. I don't know if I can send. Let me just see if I can, just to make, to like, Alice PC. I'm gonna find it. Oh, Madness Returns. Yes, there is two. You are correct, madame. Copy image address. I'm just going to plop this in the chat, and you can tell me. Whoa, that was a weird. I'm not sure if that is even visible. Let me just see if I can find something else then. Copy. There's a Wikipedia link. What on earth is stepping on something? I've heard it's a good game. Never played it. But anyway, it is now actually time to wrap things up because unfortunately I have to go. But did I? Oh no! And I just closed the script. Oh man. I hope it auto-saved. Please auto-save. Please, 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 please. Yes, it did. And I only got like a page done. But, a page every year or a page every week, that'll give me 50 pages by the end of the year. And, in 2 years I'll have a script. So even that isn't bad. So just remember that, guys. Keep plugging along. And hopefully I'll see some of you later. And also, yeah, for those of you interested, should we transition to like every other one in person? I mean, I don't know how many of you are actually local to the Rocky Mountain House area. So, but think about it. You can always stop by the library and let me know. And yeah, have a good evening, everyone. Yes, I know you're in town, but I don't know about these other two lovely people, Earthwords and Akhmatovs, which I keep saying wrong. So if you're local, maybe you could stop by. That'd be awesome. But anyway, yes, I do got to go. Love you all. Thank you for stopping by. And I will talk to you next week, because we will do online next week. It's after that I'm not sure if we should alternate back and forth, blah, blah. I'll talk to you later.